Hello and welcome to ThePrint. My name is Zoya, and in today's Great Speeches series, we are stepping back into a year of freedom, chaos, and hope. On 26th of November 1947, just 3 months after independence, India's first finance minister, R.K. Shanmukham Chetty, stood before Parliament to present the country's first budget. A seasoned economist, lawyer, and diplomat, Chetty was tasked with stabilizing a nation reeling from partition, refugee crises, and economic turmoil. His speech was not just about numbers. It was a blueprint for survival, resilience, and hope, and it set the stage for how the newly freed country would navigate its economic challenges. Chetty began with the elephant in the room. Partition, he said. The partition of the country has cut across its economic and cultural unity. Regions which have functioned for centuries on a complementary basis have been suddenly cut asunder. End quote. The human cost was staggering. Millions were displaced, cities burned, and Punjab's economy collapsed. Chetty didn't mince words when he said, "Thousands of innocent lives have been lost. Migration on a scale unprecedented in history has taken place." End quote. He allocated Rs 22 crore for refugee relief, a colossal sum for 1947, but admitted the magnitude of this burden cannot yet be assessed. End quote. He emphasized the need for cooperation between India and Pakistan, stating that both nations had advantages and disadvantages economically. He noted that while India was stronger in industrial production, Pakistan had advantages in agricultural resources. Chetty said, "The compelling forces of economic necessity must create a friendly and cooperative spirit between the two dominions." End quote. As he went into details about partition arrangements, Chetty outlined how a partition council was established to address various administrative issues arising from this division. He noted that many complex matters remained unresolved at the time of independence, including debt allocation and military resource distribution. He said, "Some of these issues are likely to go before an arbitral tribunal." End quote. Partition had shattered the military. From 4.1 lakh troops, India retained 2.6 lakh and British officers were phased out. Chetty said, "The complete nationalization of India's armed forces is our policy. Operational commands will be filled by Indian officers." End quote. But defense costs ballooned to Rs 92 crore, slowing post-war demobilization. Yet, Chetty balanced this with nation building. The Damodar Valley project for power and irrigation and the Hirakud Dam in Odisha, a Rs 48 crore gamble to transform lives. Addressing food security concerns, Chetty highlighted how reliance on food imports posed significant challenges for India's economy. He said, "The country has just weathered a serious threat of a breakdown of its rationing system. The results of the Grow More Food campaign have been disappointing. Between 1944 and 1947, we had to import 43.8 lakh tons of food grain at a cost of over Rs 127 crore. End quote. Chetty's warning was stark. The country cannot depend indefinitely on imports. For one thing, this places us at the mercy of foreign countries for our vital necessities, and for another, large-scale imports of food grain seriously affect our foreign exchange position." End quote. He suggested that India must concentrate its energies on producing as much food as possible within the country. Next, Chetty tackled inflation. Prices had skyrocketed. The Bombay Cost of Living Index jumped from 243 in 1945 to 284 by 1947. He said, "The chief factor which has contributed to this development is the general decline in agricultural and industrial production." End quote. Chetty's numbers were sobering. Revenue, Rs 171 crore. Expenditure, Rs 197 crore. A deficit of Rs 26 crore, largely due to refugee relief and food subsidies. The sterling balances, that is India's foreign reserves, were dwindling fast. Chetty said, "These balances represent the entire foreign exchange reserves of this country, and it is of the utmost importance that they should not be lightly frittered away on the import of unessential and luxury articles or on luxury living in foreign countries." End quote. He also warned that these reserves should not be used to finance deficits, but for purchasing capital goods, which is necessary for developing the agricultural and industrial productivity of the country. As he concluded the speech, Chetty made a stirring call. For the first time in 2 centuries, we have a government answerable to the people. But we must consolidate the discordant elements in our national life." End quote. He ended India's first post-independence budget speech with an appeal. The willing help and cooperation of all sections of the community is required in maintaining peace and order, in increasing production, and in avoiding internecine quarrels, whether between communities or between capital and labor. I'm sure my appeal for this help and cooperation will not go in vain." End quote. Thank you for listening. For more from The Print, become a subscriber at theprint.in/subscribe. I'm Zoya in Delhi. Tune in every day for more insightful news and analysis.